Why is it? Okay. All right. Oh, I'm getting out of hell. Okay. All right. Thank you. Why is it? Okay. Thank you for waiting. Sorry. Works. Okay. I got out of hell of these internet things that we are learning today. Thank you so much for waiting. Okay, let's start the service with reciting the true words spoken by Buddha together. Okay. Yes. Oh, before I forgot, um, I I can send you this material of the Laws of Hell before it's published. So please feel free to let me know if you want to have it. I can send it with USPS or something like that. So please let me know via text message or email to me. Right. So it's okay for you to watch the video of the excerpts of the second chapter of today. So yeah, you can go ahead with the video clips today. So next week I'm in Kauai, and then we don't have a video clip. Please let me know in advance. I can send you the 3 chapter. All right, the 3rd chapter. Let's go. Let's take a vow to Lord Cantare. The true words spoken by Buddha, Ryuho Okawa. There used to be the light in the great universe. The light is the energy of Buddha. People can live by this energy, and Buddha's energy has made human history. It will be supplied eternally. This eternal light comes from heaven and prevailed on earth. This is the light of heaven. Through the prism of Buddha, there appear the 7 colors of rainbow, arching over in the sky. Here you can see Buddha's mercy. Yellow is the color of teaching. White is the color of saving. Red is the color of justice. Purple is the color of obedience. Blue is the color of thinking. Green is the color of harmony. Silver is the color of progress. These 7 colors help each other, and there appears Buddha land. Buddha land is shining brightly because of gathering of bodhisattvas. This is the land of love, or the land of mercy. This is the land of wisdom, or the land of teaching. Especially, this is the land of souls rest in peace. We all saw that the children of Buddha. The children of Buddha became real human beings. Real human beings have spirituality. The spirits are immortal powers. The spirits are immortal forces. The spirits are real entities. The physical bodies are the shadows of the spirits. It means you are the boat sailing down the great river. The great river is the symbol of the course of lives. Each of you sailed down as a small boat, so you need a boatman. If it were not for your own boatman, you surely go aground. This boatman really means your mind. If your mind makes a mistake, the boat breaks into pieces by a large rock. And you also need a bamboo pole. This pole is the meaning of the true words. When you go down the rapid stream, you need to path in a stream. Then you can change your course. The true words means the teaching of Buddha. Buddha enlightened and spoke the true words, and Buddha's teaching became a gold mine. This gold mine suggests various teachings. These are another expression of Buddha's truth. It brightens up your days. Or to put it another way, the fruits of Buddha's mercy. All of you now here, listen to me. Never lose your way, now and forever. The guiding hand has already waved. Please follow this white hand and go steady on and on. Your lives are not limited to this world only. They have three aspects: the past, the present, the future. Your paths have already gone by, yet still your mistakes will be kept in your minds. That is the reason why you should understand other people and you yourself should reflect on what you have done. You and others are not different. On the contrary, both are children of Buddha and brothers and sisters. Now then, love each other. Let us bring up each other, and it's time to forgive each other. This is the eternal law, which penetrates the present and the future. Yes, indeed, the light of the dark night. The dark night of this world is hell. It is also the same in another world. Since we came down to this world, the sun of the truth is scheduled to rise. Now we are watching rising sun. It will shed light to the future to invite sad people to Buddha land. Now here I command, there shall not be conflict in this world. There shall not be distrust in this world. There shall not be crime in this world. There shall not be evil spirits in this world. There shall not be the devil in the next world. Only the ideal world, utopia, shall be realized. All of the people love each other, live harmoniously, believing in one another. The world is utopia. All of us could be the light of bodhisattvas. Believe in the light has reality. Believe in that love has reality. Believe in that the truth has reality. These are the facts that should be conveyed. We, the light of bodhisattvas, get together, work together to keep right mind and live in tune with Buddha's words. Here we vow to do so. Okay, thank you so much for joining today too. All right. What is this? Black screen. Okay, and I felt the laws of the hell is so important that I was suffered from something happening yesterday. I tried to go to the cabin service. My daughter got vomited the last night of the yesterday. So and she couldn't sleep all night, and then I wondered it's COVID or not, but I tested it, but the result is not COVID. So I wondered. Then I after I came back from the service to my home, she got well very much. So yeah, as I experienced, you may feel something bad around you due to the spiritual disturbance that is now going on. By the lecture Master Hokawa taught in December in the biggest venue in Japan, and the path to true salvation. So there is a hell in this world, yeah, as Alfredo is saying always. So that's a stray spirits because they don't know the real world, spirit world. Then they stick to this world. They cannot go back to heaven or even hell. They are staying here and influence on us. Yeah, that's because we have some kind of spiritual disturbance like me. And then you are the spiritually shining beings from that side. So let's be very careful to attune ourselves to the Lord's light this year. Like the new current, spiritual current of this year is the laws of hell. We need to be very connected with this light. Okay, so I think it's important to learn first the laws of hell than anything else, right? So I prepared the service of this book, but I thought this is not God's will. So yeah, it's okay. It's so important book. So after the laws of hell, we are going over this book. Right? So today is a second chapter we will go over. Let's go ahead. Right. And then I show you the agenda today. First, not a status, fame, and popularity, but every thought, action, and inner voice which you had while alive do matter with going to hell or heaven. The second, in some cases, you think you live in the correct way, but you fall to hell. The reason is ignorance. Yeah. So this second chapter teaches us about the six worldly delusions that are all causes to go to hell. But we pick one thing out of six delusions today, that is ignorance. That's all around of us. So 3, materialistic views decide your density of your vibration in the mind to go to hell. Those materialistic views are the mostly influenced by the six delusions. Yeah, we can focus on our six delusions that are causes to go to hell for most of us. Yes. So this chapter is teaching us the very crucial criteria to go to hell. Focusing on the just six delusions. Yeah. Then the third chapter that we will learn next week is teaching us about six delusions too, more deeper. So we are now picking the ignorance, the third worldly delusions out of six delusions today, especially. Okay, so let's go over the preface again. A terrifying book has been put together. I never imagined I would publish the laws of hell in the world of the 21st century. In this convenient and affluent world that is at times ruled by the fear of a nuclear war or a coronavirus pandemic. Who can write such a book in this modern age? There's only one person here in such a small country in the Orient, Japan. This is his 3,100 book. That's him, yes. the one who lives in the same age as you, and yet has been sent from the infinitely distant world in your eyes. He is the one who was once called Alpha and also Elohim. The laws of hell is another form of the laws of salvation. Did you read this book or not? You will soon be asked this question at the entrance to another world. Okay, that's, yeah, terrifying. So, what should you do or what should you think? Yeah, this is the first topic today. Yeah, as we considered in the very New Year's ceremony, yeah, we are asked this way. So if you believe in Lode Cantare, will you go to heaven? This question you answered correct way. Not only the faith, yeah, but practice, discipline are needed. Okay, but otherwise, in the opposite direction, this is a question for you. Yeah, if you don't have a faith to any invisible being, I mean God or Buddha, will you go to heaven? If you don't believe in God or Buddha, do you go to heaven? That's exactly no. This is a first thing that will hold it in our mind. Okay, so the first essential point is this: those without faith will, in principle, fall to hell. Therefore, first, you will be severely judged on whether or not you have faith or you have some kind of belief or state of mind that may not exactly be faith, but similar. Yeah, it's kind of generous. Not only Lord Cantare, but the Father in heaven, Allah are okay. But some kind of similar being that's divine are needed to be believed in our life, right? Otherwise, we will go to hell. Yeah, many of you can follow it, I believe. Yeah, but some of you cannot follow it. Yeah, you have sometimes. Yeah, opposite opinion. I know. But this is a fact. So why is it fact? Let's go ahead. Yeah. This is service today. Yeah. Please hold the question in your heart and then go ahead. Okay, so topic 1. No status, fame, and popularity, but every thought, action, and inner voice which you had while alive do matter with going to hell or heaven. Right. Okay. So let's learn from Master's lecture for about 8 to 9 minutes together.
その後、人間として生きてた時代を振り返ってみてですね、その思いと行いを点検されるということですね。まあ、行いの方が比較的分かりやすいかとは思うんですが、いわゆる法律等でやってはいけないというものがあります。まあ、犯罪もそうですし、まあ、不法行為というものもありますので、まあ、そういうものは割に分かるものもありますが、人に知られなければいいと思ってやってる人もいっぱいおりますね。でこういうものは人に知られずやってたと思っているようなものは全部明らかにされますので、昭和の鏡あるいはそして生前の映像のようなものを見せられて反省ポイントを指摘されて、自分でやってきたことしてきたことと反省させられます。ただまあ一方的な断罪だけをするわけではありませんで、 閻魔の法廷におきましてはその悪行と同時に善行も一応チェックされますので、それを比べて、差し引きどうなるかという判定に、なります。ですから同じ人殺しをしてもですね、人殺しをしてそれは十分裁かれている、裁かれて長い間刑務所に入って、更生した方とか、更生して、この世の世界に戻って、真面目に働いて、人生をやり直しているような人は、ある程度侵釈されることもあるし、死刑になった人でもそれを本人が悔いてこんな生き方しては人間としては失敗であったと思っているような人ならば、あの世でストレートには天国には帰れないことも多いですけど、一定期間の、反省修行反省上のようなところで、ガイダンスを受けて、その時期が過ぎれば天国に上がっていける方もいます。ただ知られずにやったからいいだろうと思っているような人ですね。知られずにやる殺人とか、知られずにやるなんていうか暴行傷害、闇の中で分からないようにやって、捕まりもしなかったというようなこととか、強盗窃盗その他ですね、犯罪にあたる行為ですけれども、この世の法の網で裁けなかったと、この世の警察官捕まることもなく裁判されることもなく逃げおおせと、あるいは知能犯で頭を使って、そういう同じ内容にあたることを他の人にやらして自分は次第の存在で逃げたような方ですね。こういうものを絶対逃さないのが閻魔の裁きでありまして、地上では証拠がなければ裁けませんけれども、この閻魔の法廷においては証拠は霊的に全部出てきます。それは生きている時に人間としてやったことをして思ったこととは全部記録されているんです。でその記録を明らかにしていくと、大体これは、本人の守護霊の目で見た、記録が取られていることが分かります。中には自分自身の目で見たりしたものも入っておりますけれども、自分がやっていることが見えるということは第三者的な立場で見ているということなので、基本的には守護霊はその人の人生を撮影録音していると考えていいし、心の声まで入っているという、いうことですね。それをダイジェスト版にして、人生の総括を必ずやるという証拠は出されます。あの世ではね、この世では警察の聞き込みとかして、目撃者の証言とか自白とか、あるいは、鑑識での科学的証拠とかなければ有罪にできませんけれども、あの世では証拠は全部出てきます。だから年取っていくうちにやったことをいろいろ忘れていくこともありますけれども、死んであの世に帰った時にはこれ全部思い出すということですね。それが時間的にはもうこの世の時計の時間とちょっと違う形になります。ですから時々話としては聞くと思いますが、登山なんかしててですね、山から落ちて落下してですね、ほんと数秒の間、地上に落ちるまでの間に一生のことが走馬灯のようにフラッシュバックして思い出されたなんていう方もいますけど、そういうもんでして、60年の人生生きて60年上映するわけじゃございませんが、極めて短時間の間に一生を振り返って点検できるように点検ポイントがざっと入っている、状態になりますよね。ですから基本的に、地獄に行く前の閻魔の法廷は、公平であって、この世で思ったことを行ったことを一つ残らず全部記憶は残っています。それは本人自身の魂の中にも、昔、壮年隊というような言葉でも使ったことはございますが、テープレコーダーや、そんなの、似たもんですけれども、心の中の声は全部記録されているし、やったことも全部映像で撮ったかのように記録されているので、将来のテープを読まれば、どんな人かはすぐ分かる。 まあ言ってみれば昔はレコード版とかありましたですけども、レコードはかけてみなければその1時間音楽を聴いてみないとどんな音楽か分かりませんが、あの世の法則によればレコード版みたいにこの刻みだけ入っているもので見ただけでこの人の曲調はどうであるかということはもう一発で分かるようになっているという、ことですね。特に上段階の高級例になればそれは一瞬にして読み解くことができるようになります。どうしても判定が納得がいかないというような場合にはすでに亡くなっている方でその人の友達友人友達や縁者あるいは被害を受けた人とですね、知っている人をお呼びし霊的にお呼びすることもあれば、まだその人を知っている人がこの世に生きている場合にはこの世の生きている人の守護霊もお呼びして証人として立っていただくこともあります。この人はこう言ってるけど本当かということですね。そういうことを調べられるわけですね。例えば家賃を何年も滞納してて、あんまり請求されるもんだから親を殺してしまったと、いうようなことがあったとして、どっかの小説の罪と罰みたいですけども、そういうことがあったとして、警察の調べで犯人が分からなかったとしても、これは殺された管理人の例を読んで、直接合わせて「どうだった?」って「はい、この人に殺されました」と「間違いございません」と言われれば証拠は明らかですね。そしてその現場のシーンも見せられることになります。だから悪いことは何一つできないということですね。だから悪いことは何一つできないので、大事なことは悪いことを人間として生きて悪いこと何もしないで生きるのはちょっと難しい。現実問題としては難しいことあると思います。だから、問題特にで言えば間違いをするということですよね。それは起きることですけども、なんとか合格点を取ることが大事なわけで、失点を出すけども得点の方が多くて合格になる人生を目指さなくてはいけない。信仰に照らし、この世の法律とかにも照らし、あるいは人間としての道義心に照らして、正しいと思うかどうか、例えば自分のご両親が見てそれをどう思うか、隣近所の人が見てどう思うか、あるいは会社の人たちが見てどう思うか、あるいはもっと見識のある人たちがそれを見てどう思うか、こういうことですわね。
いきますよか。Yeah, how did you think about it? About this part? It's so rare to listen to, I think. Yeah. Yeah, but the judge of hell is never overlooking, mistakes in our life. So
Literally, you can get away with anything.
yeah, that's it.
Even if you don't go to prison here, judge here.
All right.
Once we die,
Yeah.
everything.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, that's yeah. He is saying the very ordinary tone, but it's so strict. So strict. Yeah. He's no intend he doesn't intend to punish, as you saw his tone, but the fact that we will be judged by the law of the universe automatically, not the punishment, it's if they don't know it and then fall down to hell, we need to stop, right? Because they don't know the rule yet, and then they do mistakes. Then we cannot overlook it, as well. That's what we need to do in our life, in this world, before we go to the spirit world. Yeah.
Well, that's a good point too, because
on this earth, we have the tendency to judge other people.
Uh-huh.
So Master now is saying that we all will be judged
Uh-huh.
because each
Uh-huh.
one of us have a book of problems to solve,
Uh-huh.
which means we will make mistakes.
Uh-huh.
But we have to be aware of those mistakes and try to correct them
Oh yes.
before we die.
Uh-huh.
Because once you die, everything will show up.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. So yes, that's so important point. he said, they'll be judged on a both sides of good and bad. Yeah, and the weight of both good and bad is determined. Yeah. So that's not like a too simple path, but the percentage decides where to go. So that means we can have opportunity to correct the way until we die. Yes, this is a meaning of our mission, right? So in the area I said, there's many stress spirits there in this world because they don't know about the truth. Because those truths are not taught in even the schools, in the government, or sometimes even in a church. It's said in the Lord of Hell, some pastors don't believe in the spirit world, teach people. In Japan too, almost all Buddhists don't believe in spirit world and teach people because it's prohibited to believe in spirit world in Japan. Yeah, that's all are done by the authority of the government set rule to universities. Then monks, prominent monks, were graduated from the prominent universities that prohibit to teach the spirit world, right? That's the cause of all ignorance today. So we're gonna learn the mistakes of academic studies today, especially. Before that, we need to look back what Master Okawa said in the part of our the lecture. So, however, there are other wrongdoings that many people do while thinking it's all right as long as no one notices. Nevertheless, even these acts that people thought they got away with without anyone finding out will all be exposed after this. Their lives will be shown on a life reflecting mirror or as a video clip or their life events, and they will be told of which points they have to reflect and be made to repent over the things that they have done. But it is not just wrongdoings that we will be judged. In the court of Yama, both the good and bad deeds will be reviewed. They will be compared and a verdict will be made based on the weight of the two. In other cases, however, the special judge of hell will never overlook people who act and think. It's fine because no one knows what I did. These are people who committed murder, assault, or injury without being noticed. Those who acted behind the scenes and did not get caught, or those who committed robberies, thefts, and other criminal acts and escaped without being arrested by the police or tried under the law. In this world, a person cannot be convicted without evidence. But in the court of Yama, all evidence will be spiritually shown because everything you did and thought during your life as a human being is recorded. As you watch the records, you will notice that they are mostly taken from the perspective of your guardian spirit. Some of them are taken from the perspective of your own eyes. But the fact that you can see yourself on the screen means that there was that people think and do in this world has been recorded without exception. In the other world, however, all evidence will be presented in front of you, even if you forgot the various things that you did as you grew older. You will recall every single thing when you return to the other world. Oh no. We don't want. Thus, the trial of special judge of hell conducted before people are sent to hell is fair. Every single thing that people think and do in this world has been recorded without exception. These records also exist within your own soul. It is like a tape recorder. All your inner voices and the actions you took are recorded as if they were filmed. So anyone who can read the thoughts tape will be able to immediately tell what kind of person you are. So you cannot get away with doing bad things. What is the important point here? In reality, as a human being, it is difficult to live without doing anything bad. Life is a workbook of problems to be solved. In this sense, doing bad things mean that you made a mistake in solving the problems. Mistakes do happen. But the important thing is to get a passing score. You might lose some points, but you must aim to increase the points you gain and get a passing score in life. Do you think you are living rightly when viewed in the light of right faith, the law of this world, or human morals? What would your parents think? What would your neighbors think? What would your coworkers think? What would someone with a higher awareness think? Please consider these points. Yes. And then, in addition, we'll given the special opportunity to repent our sins in Hawaii Shoja this year, especially. So, yeah, I announced it.
My 14-year-old
Uh-huh.
son was asked
Uh-huh.
what was the key point
Uh-huh.
that from what he just studied.
Uh-huh.
And his response was that
Uh-huh.
you don't only go to hell
Uh-huh.
based on your actions,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
but your thoughts.
Mhm.
So good or bad, from goodness to evil or from evil to goodness, everything is weighed.
Mhm.
So your thoughts alone
Mhm.
can condemn you to hell.
Oh, yes.
So that was amazing.
Yes,
True.
yes, yes. That's so correct. Yeah, that's not taught in elsewhere but happy science. Because the teachers cannot see spirit world correctly. They cannot even feel spirit world. Just reading script, that's it. That's not true teaching. Yeah. So Master Yokawa can teach us the fact that spiritual world does exist, and the stress spirits are there, and we will be judged by the judge of hell, where to go to hell and heaven, something like that. That's fact, based on the fact, spiritual fact, the Messiah can only see is taught in happy science. So yeah, we have obligation to tell the truth to the others who don't know the fact yet, because they don't have the opportunity. That's a point we need to spread. Yeah. This is to become one with the mercy of Lord Alcantara. So this is not judgment. This is the salvation. Yeah. Right. And yeah, okay, so let's go to the another topic today, the second one. So in some cases, you think you live in the correct way, but you fall to hell. It's ignorance. Yeah. This is in most cases the most biggest pitfalls, I think. Because as Alfredo said, they are doing very good deeds, but some of them will go to hell because the thought is wrong. Yeah. This is what Masaru Hokawa tells us here in the second chapter as ideological criminals. Yeah. They believe they are doing very good things. Yeah. But they will go to hell because of the ignorance. Yeah. That's another point. We need to spread the truth to the people in the world. Yeah. Yes, let's go. Before we are diving into the master's lecture, we need to learn in advance this point. Today, democracy is built upon public opinion, but it is a flawed democracy if public opinion itself is wrong. This is why the population of hell is now tremendously increasing. Tremendously increasing. It is truly troublesome. What is more, in many cases, it is nearly impossible to convince people of their mistakes after they have gone to hell. So we are having trouble. They are indoctrinated with the wrong thoughts because those with authority to make judgments in this world are wrong. I do not think many university professors commit crimes in this world, however. If they teach wrong ideas, their students will be contaminated, and this contamination will continue to spread to later generations. These professors are called ideological criminals, and their sin is more serious than you might imagine. Various crimes in this world, such as murder and robbery, are easy to identify, but it is more difficult to identify ideological crimes. Traditional hells alone are no longer sufficient in dealing with such crimes. To be more specific, the new types of hell that are starting to form are newspaper hell, TV hell, weekly magazine hell, and internet hell, based on academic studies in this world, right? Experts are needed for each of these hells. So the judges of these are those with some expert knowledge on related matters in the spirit world. Yeah, very good people as experts in this area will be the judge of hell. Yeah. So we need more people in the area of internet with conscience. Yeah. Okay, so the second point, the laws of hell. In the second chapter, the very important thing is taught like this. In this way, hell is becoming extremely complex. Previously, I mentioned thoughts and actions, and these two are linked. So, first, please reflect on your thoughts on the following points. These are six-worldly delusions. Yeah. If you check on six-worldly delusions, you can get yourself out from ignorance. Yeah. You can judge yourself where to go in the spirit world. You go to hell or heaven. In this world. Sorry. So six worldly delusions are greed, anger, ignorance, it's called sometimes foolishness, conceit or arrogance, doubt and wrong views. These are 6 delusions. The way your action to down to hell. Okay, right? So let's listen to the lecture, the second chapter.
Next is ignorance, or ways of thinking based on ignorance, as I mentioned in Chapter 1.
出ていたとは思うんですけれども、まあ無知に基づくまあ考え方ですね。
Learnings based on ignorance have already expanded enormously in the academic world, too.
していて、そういう価値のない本当にガラクタ
Many people make a living by teaching junk knowledge, which contains no value,
生活のなりわいにし、そのガラクタ
and others use that junk to teach elsewhere and spread it.
して広げている人たちがいっぱいいます。まあこう
These people will be held accountable for being ignorant.
無知であることでも責任は問われます。
In most cases, they have made the wrong choice between one of two things.
二つに一つのことで間違う。
They have made the wrong decision between one or the other, or between left and right, so they will not be forgiven.
ことですね。
Those in the position of teaching academic learning must tirelessly seek the truth,
やはり限りなく真理を求めるわけなければいけない
tirelessly seek goodness, and tirelessly seek beauty.
し、限りなく
Scholars and academic teachers who make efforts in this way
なければ
have the chance of returning to the upper levels of the six-dimensional world.
学者等はまあ6次
But in reality, quite a few of them have fallen straight to hell.
ではありますけれども、
Those who continue to teach wrong ideas are ideological criminals. Even though they may have certain titles such as Professor of XYZ University in this world,
教え続けている人の場合は思想犯
the more they spread their philosophy and the more influence they have, the deeper they will fall into hell accordingly.
地獄の底を深くに落ちることになる。
This is not only true with scholars. Many ideological criminals emerge from among commentators.
小説家等の作家とかもそうだし、
Writers, including novelists, and editors and directors of newspapers, TV programs, magazines, movies, and so
作
on.
品を作っている人の中にもそうした思想犯に当たる人がいっぱい。
Yama's agency will never overlook them as they have influenced a great number of people wrongfully.
与えたために絶対に許さないっていうのが
That is Yama's stance.
態度でございます。まあ
There are certainly one-on-one crimes, but this influence is rather small.
小さい。
Meanwhile, some people influence lots of people by sharing their wrong philosophy and ideology
とか漫画とかでもそうですが、本や漫画や
through books, comics, movies, and television programs, among other ways.
まあその他
Such people can be found in politicians, too.
いろんな方いると思います。
Although they may be regarded highly in a worldly sense,
本能的な偉いとされる中でも
they will be clearly judged evil under the standard of good and evil seen from Buddha's truth.
すれば悪という判定が明らかに出て、
Essentially, it is like pollution.
川の上流で、毒をまいたと。
If someone dumps poison or mercury in the upstream of a river, there will be abnormal fish with bent backbones. The people who eat these fish will then suffer from rare or incurable diseases,
食べた人がまた
and as a result, many of their lives will be ruined.
人たちを狂わせること。
So you cannot be happy just because you have been promoted to a higher position or succeeded in this world.
もう万歳して
On the other hand, there are those who think, I didn't succeed in this world. My life ended up being mediocre.
凡庸な人生ではあった。
It was an ordinary life. I could only influence my family members, and it was a pity that my workplace treated me like a machine.
機械の代わりに存在したぐらいにしか扱えなかった残念だったと。
It was such a boring life.
つまらなかったなと思っているような人が
In truth, even if these people go to hell after returning to the other world,
地獄から早く
they can get out of it rather soon because of their light sins.
と考えて、
However, those who made their company into a large one or made a lot of money through dishonesty
したような人は
will not be easily forgiven due to the magnitude of their influence.
許してくれなくなりますよね。
In the field of medicine,
作って
some people may have developed and sold fake medicine or spread ineffective medicine by claiming them to be effective,
間違った法律を
but they will also be severely punished.
政治家とか
The same is true for politicians who made wrongful laws.
ことになりますね。
Based on an earthly point of view, you might think,
ではないんだから
life ends in this world, so I want to be as successful as possible in my 100 or 120 years of life. I'd be more than happy if I can gain the respect of many people, make money, and be well known.
言うことなしと
I want to be popular with the opposite sex as well.
思うけども、間違ったことをし
But if you had wrongful thoughts and did wrongful deeds to achieve them,
ならば、来世の
please know that your sins in the next life will definitely be heavy.
ふうに考えてまあ良いと思います。
To put it simply, this third dimensional world is,
この三次元の物質世界というのは
unlike the spirit world, made in a way that is difficult for humans to know the truth.
簡単に分かりにくいようにはなっているんです。だから
So it is actually more difficult to do good things in this world than in the spirit world.
行うよりもこの世で善行を行う方が難しいし、
And likewise, it is more difficult to practice self-reflection in this world than in the spirit world.
この世で反省することの方が難しいですね。だから
In fact, 1 year of spiritual training in this world can be equivalent to 10 years of that in the spirit world.
まあことがあるということですね。
So people who are judged as evil as a result of living mere several decades of life can suffer in hell for several hundred years. In reality, there are many of such people. There are both good and bad in this world.
これは肉体を持って
We are living with a physical body, surrounded by physical objects, and we must live by making use of them.
そういうある意味では
In a way, it is a world where everyone is groping their way through life blindfolded.
世界であります
So you will be able to make great progress in your spiritual training if you can discern good from evil,
見分けていくことが
truth from falsehood, and beauty from ugliness in such a world. That's why humans are born into this world over and over again.
それがこのように転生してくるという現象がまああるということですね。だから
There are many things to be learned here. When you are in the other world as a spiritual body, it is quite easy to understand that you are a
そういう
spirit.
ことなんですよ。
Even so, many don't even understand this simple truth.
言いますけどね。
The spirits who possess living people and do evil things
僕なんか
have no clue about the existence of the spirit world, and they don't even understand that they are a spiritual body.
として自分の不条
Some of them believe they are still alive and possess living people to vent their feelings of frustration.
こともありますね。
Suppose a person dies from a car accident while driving around a sharp curve on a mountain road.
休暇
If the person doesn't know that he is a spirit, he will become an earthbound spirit hanging around that area.
で
And when he sees someone driving recklessly or under the influence of alcohol,
運転をして
willfully possess that person and cause another accident, such things are really happening.
また事故を起こして
This example shows that some people don't understand the simple truth because they don't have enough knowledge.
人がいるということですね。まあ
This is unfortunate. Several decades ago, a former prosecutor general published a semi-autobiography book titled
地上では検事総長をしていた方が自分の自伝のようなものを書いて
People Become Trash After They Die.
人は死ねばゴミになるという題で検事総長をやった方が本出しておりましたが、
This is one of the worst outcomes of materialistic thinking.
まあ有物論の慣れの果てですわね。まあ、
Given that he was working in the top position of judging right from wrong, his sin must be heavy.
立場に立っていたらそれは罪は重いでしょう。
He only saw things from the materialistic points of view. So while he may have believed he was walking the road of Yama
閻魔の道は
and expected to advance straight from a prosecutor general to a great Yama, that's not what happened. Those with such kind of mistaken philosophies are not forgiven.
ですね。
The same is true for judges. The bar exam doesn't test religious knowledge, so their judgment is based mostly on worldly knowledge.
この的な いうことばかりを知識として持って判定しております。
So, although the majority of their decisions, 70 to 80%,
納得するものもある。
may be reasonable verdicts, 20 to 30% of them are most probably wrong. Judges must ask their conscience when considering whether or not their verdicts are right.
考えなきゃいけない。
Even judges must go to hell if they frequently hand down wrong rulings and made fatal mistakes.
間違いがあった場合はやっぱり裁判官であろうと地獄に行かなければいけない。
Lawyers, too, must go to hell if they are immoral.
相当する人は地獄に行かなければいけない。
For instance, some lawyers actively persecute religious crimes,
やってる弁護士たちも
and in some cases, they may be taking rightful actions.
あるんですけれども、
But if they are working to eliminate a religion that carries the mission of God and Buddha from society,
なんかを社会的に葬るような
then unfortunately these lawyers will also go to hell, regardless of whether they have the title of a lawyer.
ということになります。だから、
So worldly values don't apply at all to the standards of hell.
全く通
Your worldly educational background doesn't apply.
も通用しない。
Your certification doesn't apply. It doesn't matter if you are respected or rich, had a large house,
家が大きいかどうか、
or had a prestigious lineage like coming from an aristocratic, royal, or noble family.
名家であったかどうか
None of these factors will be taken into consideration.
ということですね。
All that matters is faith, thoughts, and actions.
そしてその人の思いと行い
Your faith, thoughts, and actions will show the kind of person you are.
になるわけですね。だからまあ
In a sense, it was good that aristocracy collapsed and everyone came to be treated equally.
いうことかとは思いますが、
For quite some time in the past,
高い人であれば身分
those of higher social class were not charged with crime even if they bullied or killed those of lower class.
時代も結構ありましたからね。まあ
Compared to those times, the world has become better.
思う面もまあありますけども、
In general, you will be judged based on whether your actions were appropriate as a human being.
べき行為かどうかということを裁かれることになります。
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Mm. Yeah, actually, yeah, we discussed today. Yes, the content of our mind is judged. Actually, that's the point. And then the teaching of the mind is very rare to spread now. Yeah. Then Master Hokawa was reborn again in this modern age. That's religious teachings are already expired in this age. That's the reason why he was born again. He promised 2,600 years ago, we will be born again in the last age of this world. So that's a time of Messiah's descending. Yeah. At the same time, its age is very dangerous crisis, on the verge of a crisis, as you see in this world. Yeah, that's, we can say, almost all based on this kind of ignorance. Yeah, all the TV shows, internet, magazines, newspapers are based on materialistic academic studies from the universities. Yeah, that's like commonly accepted. So that's a problem. And then this is why Master Hokawa is creating this kind of organization as a fortress to the darkness of this world. Without it, we are just alone. Like with a person with psychic power, but we have no power to political field, economical field, academic field without this kind of organization of happy science. Yeah. So we don't need to be like individual psychic, but we need to be like normal people like Master Hokawa, living as a normal people who can understand others' feeling because he is no special stance. So we are ordinary that can understand other people and we can save others. From that point, yeah, if you are special too much, you cannot understand ordinary people. So Masaru Hokawa is the greatest psychic in this world as a messiah, but he is not showing off, but he is decreasing his ability to the normal people, and he is teaching the laws to save the world. Let them understand. For everyone to understand these laws. Yeah. So let's review the master's teaching in the second lecture. Yama's agency will never forgive influential ideological criminals. Learnings based on ignorance have already expanded enormously in the academic world too. Many people make a living by teaching junk knowledge that contains no value, and others spread it by teaching the junk elsewhere. These people will be held accountable for being ignorant. Yeah, so being ignorant will be judged as wrong. So in most cases, they have chosen the wrong one out of two options. That means the decision which decides there is heaven or there is not heaven in the afterlife. Yeah, that's the point where the decision will be correct or not. But they did wrong at the point and learn the junk knowledge. So that's the point. They need to reflect. Why did you choose the way? That's the cause for them to go to hell, but there's a cause in their mind. If reflect on their background, they have some causes in the past. Since they were born, they need to reflect from the mirror of heaven's judgment or spiritual perspective of their guardian spirit after death. But we need to do within our life while we are alive. Yeah. They have made the wrong decision between one and the other or between left and right, so they will not be forgiven because they chose the wrong decisions. There is no heaven, there's no hell, there's no spirit world. Those in the position of teaching academic knowledge must tirelessly seek the truth, tirelessly seek goodness, and tirelessly seek beauty. If so, they believe in the heavenly world because it's human nature. And it's taught in the 5th chapter, the instinct to believe in spirit world, God, Buddha. It's natural Buddha nature of humankind. Yeah. If we grew up naturally, we believe in God and Buddha, but they made mistakes in the course of life in the past. Then they came to not to believe in God and Buddha. Scholars and academic teachers who make efforts in this way have the chance of returning to the upper levels of the 6th dimensional world. It's supposed to be like that. But in reality, quite a few of them have fallen straight to hell. That said, those who continue to teach wrong ideas are ideological criminals, even though they may have certain titles in this world, such as professor of XYZ University. The agency of the special judge of hell will never overlook them. as they have wrongly influenced a great number of people. That's Yama's stance. Although they may be highly regarded in the worldly sense, they will be clearly judged as evil under the standard of good and evil seen from Buddha's truth. To put it simply, this third dimensional world is a place where it is difficult for humans to know the truth, unlike in the spirit world. So it makes it more difficult to do good things in this world than in a spirit world. Likewise, it is more difficult to practice self-reflection in this world than in the spirit world. In fact, 1 year of spiritual training in this world can be equivalent to 10 years of that in the spirit world. So people who are judged as evil as a result of living mere several decades of life can suffer in hell for several hundred years. In reality, there are many such people. There are both good and bad in this world. We are living with a physical body and are surrounded by physical objects, and we must live by making use of them. In a way, it is a world where everyone is groping their way through life blindfolded. So you will be able to make great progress in your spiritual training if you can discern good from evil, truth from falsehood, and beauty from ugliness in such a world. That is why humans are born into the world over and over again. There are many things to be learned here. So worldly values are not valid at all in hell. Your worldly educational background and your certification do not matter. It also does not matter at all if you were respected or rich, had a large house, or had a prestigious lineage, like coming from an aristocratic, royal, or noble family. None of these factors will be taken into consideration. All that matters is faith, thoughts, and actions. Your faith, thoughts, and actions will show the kind of person you are. Nevertheless, the laws of Yama are not just rigid rules. As I said earlier, the special judge of hell weighs both the good and bad deeds of a person before determining the weight of their sin. He also considers the testimonies of the people involved and judges whether there is room for extenuating circumstances. All right. Okay. Thank you so much so far. All right. So the last lecture that we are learning today about the topic 3, materialistic views decide your density of your vibration to go to hell. Those are the 6 worldly delusions. That is a conclusion today. So let's listen to Master's lecture.
Nevertheless, the laws of Yama aren't just rigid rules.
ありませんので、先ほど
As I said earlier, Yama weighs both the good and bad deeds of a person before determining their sin.
さらに関係者等の
He also considers the testimonies of the people involved and judges whether there is room for extenuating circumstances.
罪を決定します。
Some of the most serious offenders fall straight to the pit of hell.
通らずに死んでます
Upon death, without even going through the court of Yama,
人もおります
they are obviously hopeless people in anyone's eyes.
ですね。
Among them are those who have especially obstructed or hindered others
こういう無法心理なんか
in matters related to Buddha's truth by saying the exact opposite things.
妨害したり邪魔したり
Those who were involved in activities that led to the increase in population of hell will never be forgiven.
その場合はまあ許されることはないので
Many of them fall to hell head first.
落ちるということは多いです。
Even so, some of them stubbornly insist that there is no afterlife, God, or Buddha.
言い張ってる人もいるので そういう人の場合は
In most cases, these souls are looking at their own illusionary world,
見てることが多いので、病院の
so they might think they are locked up in a place like a special room of a hospital.
監禁されているように思っている人もいることはいますけれども、
But in reality, they have fallen to the abysmal hell at the depths of
そ
hell.
こですね。そこまで落ちている人がおります。
The characteristic of the abysmal hell is that, while there are many other souls,
いるんだけど、お互いに相手が見えないんで、
they cannot see each other because it's pitch black darkness.
井戸の底みたいなところに落ちているような状態。
It's almost as if they have fallen to the bottom of a well.
あるいは刑務所的に見れば独房
In terms of prison, they are in solitary confinement, and they are not allowed to talk to or see others. They are isolated as ideological criminals.
思想犯として隔離されています。
They are in complete isolation.
本当は
Even though there may be other souls within 5 to 10 feet from them, they cannot recognize nor speak with each other.
話し合うことができない。
In many cases, they are left all alone in a state of complete isolation.
ことが多いです。
Basically, this indicates that their isolation period will be long. There, some of them gradually begin to reflect on their lives.
います。
In such cases, an appropriate spirit will visit them when the opportunity arises.
で、時々、刑務所に
Just as a prison chaplain comes to see the inmates to teach them the right way of living,
ありますようにですね。
an appropriate spirit will visit the abysmal hell when the time comes.
ふさわしい人がいて、
Oftentimes, the spirits that return to heaven after death and strive to be the light of angels will take this role.
その卵たちが行くことが多いです。
They are angels to be, or angel interns. These spirits will visit hell to gain the experience of saving others and try to guide them to the right path by talking to them.
間違うた
In many cases, however, those in the abysmal hell cannot abandon the thoughts they had imprinted in their minds during the several decades of their lives on earth. These spirits are usually full of pride.
溺れていますので、
They think they are very important figures, so they don't apologize to others or admit their mistakes.
だから間違いを認めない。
That's why they suffer for a very long time in hell and cannot be saved. But to tell the truth, they are feeling lonely, sad, painful, and hungry.
で、悲しくて、辛くて、ひもじくて、
They are truly in a state of near indefinite imprisonment.
無期懲役に近いような状態になっているということですね。
At a shallower level of hell, many spirits are around. One rule of hell is that like-minded spirits gather together.
大体同類が
In other words, those with the same illness are grouped in one place.
集まってくる。
Hospitals group patients with the same illness. Those with mental illnesses are at the psychiatric ward. Those with heart diseases or brain diseases
いろんな病気によって集める人はだってがんならがん病棟で集まってますけど、
are grouped as such, and those with cancer are placed in a cancer ward.
似たような傾向のある人たちを集めてるところが多いですね。
Likewise, people with similar tendencies are often put together in the same hell. And by continually fighting with other like-minded spirits in the same world of strife and destruction,
ということですね。
they will come to realize their mistakes. Wars and battles occur depending on the age, and you cannot necessarily say that any involvement with war or fighting is evil.
関わりは全部悪というわけでは必ずしもありません。
God and Buddha consider some wars to be inevitable, so not all of them are evil.
そういうものまで問われるわけじゃなく、歴史上戦争をして
Not all historical figures who fought at wars and built a country or served as generals are devils.
将軍をやった人とか全部悪魔というわけではありません。必要なものもあります。
Sometimes, such wars are necessary, and there were times when people had to fight hard to protect their citizens.
最低限
Moreover, people are at least allowed to fight to protect their family when necessary. If a burglar breaks into a house at night and shoots a few family members living there with a gun,
夜家に押し込み強盗が入ってですね、刃物とか拳銃とか
or stabs them with a knife to take their valuables, the husband might fight back with violence.
そして財物を奪おうとしているようなもの、こういうものに対して暴力を
He might use a gun if the country is a gun society. The law of this world considers this self-defense.
社会の国であれば、銃で応戦する場合もあります。
A situation like this will call for a trial in this world.
それで終わっている場合はそれでよろしいんです。
The trial may resolve the case, but if that is not enough, it will be taken to the court of Yama for a judgment.
今の法廷での裁定が
Situations which are justifiable or require self-defense,
正当
situations that will make others think it was inevitable, will be made an allowance.
いうことですね。
Suppose Japan, as it is today, is to be involved in a war in the near future.
近いうちに戦争に巻き込まれるというようなことが
This may not be something I should comment from my current position,
私の今の立場で
and it should rather be said by the political and military leaders.
政治や軍事の側の責任者が言うべき。
But let's say that North Korea makes numerous nuclear weapons and shoots them into Japan one-sidedly.
核兵器を日本に問答無用で撃ち込んでくると。
Millions or tens of millions of Japanese citizens might die, and North Korea might tell us,
なんでも
Japan must become a vassal state of North Korea.
北朝鮮に
You must hand over all personal belongings and properties.
出せと
We will treat you as our slaves from now on.
扱うと。いうようなことをやる
To
と
prevent this from happening, Japan may make weapons, fight back, and defend its citizens.
ちゃんと武器も作り、
But this action of Japan will not be considered evil based on the laws of Yama. It is only a natural response.
悪とは判定はしません。
If North Korea is taking wrongful actions, they are the unforgivable ones, so they will definitely be judged as evil.
ことですので、そちらの方は必ず判定を下します。
However, if both sides are wrongful to a certain extent, they will be judged on a case-by-case basis. Take, for example, the laws of Buddha from 2,500 years ago, when Buddha was asked,
戦争をする場合には
in the case of war, are warriors considered guilty of crime?
罪があるかないかということを
He responded, the primary crime resides with the king. Of course, it's not always the king. Nowadays, it could be the prime minister or president, among others.
大統領とか、
What Buddha meant was, first, the king will be held responsible for committing sins or not.
問われると。
In other words, the king will be asked, was it a righteous war? If not the king, it could be the generals.
私が
They will be judged on whether they did the right thing or not.
判定をされて、
The lower you go in the ladder of powers, the less accountable you are.
少なくなるわけで、
For example, a police officer or a military officer is often bound to obey a major order given by his or her superior.
決めた大きな命令から逃れることはできないことも
If they were ordered to fire volleys at a target, they would certainly follow the order.
射撃をせよという命令が出たらそれはするでしょうけども、
They will not necessarily be charged with a crime after death.
その義務とそうした
If it was the duty they must fulfill in the chain of command, within the proper legal system.
罪を問われないことがもあります。
Therefore, not every war or violent action becomes a crime.
そうした行動が全部罪になるわけではありません。
However, even an individual can be held accountable if he displays brutality and viciousness
そうしている中に、人間
that are beyond human nature while fighting a war against an enemy country or another ethnic group.
個人として責任を問われる状態も
In this case, these individuals will be condemned.
でも責任を問われますね。
For example, in an African country, Hutus and Tutsis killed each other using weapons like axes and machetes.
殺し合うみたいなこともありましたけども、斧とかね、ナタとかね、こういうものを持って殺し合うようなことがございましたですけども、
It was probably fought for a reason.
理由があっての戦いもありますが、
But if individuals turn into a mob and start killing people indiscriminately,
したりしている中に、その
these killers may be held accountable for their sins and be judged in hell individually.
裁かれることになりますよね。
Those who are judged to be hellish during conflicts and wars
地獄的なものとして判定さ
will
れ
go
る
to a place called the Asura Hell or the Asura Realm.
ところに行きます。
There, they will continue to kill each other eternally.
ているわけで、
So the consequence of judging our thought is coming to the ideology, right? So if it's be very simple, communism, yeah. Communism country that's based on Marx ideal. That's purpose is creating a utopia, right? But the purpose is correct, but the ways are wrong. They allow them to kill people, take weapons to kill people. That's affirmed in communism way. That's wrong. Yeah. So based on that wrong way of ideological thinking, if people aim at creating utopia, but it's going wrong, they will go to hell. They think they are good, doing good things, but finally they will go to hell after death, right? That's extreme example, but it's very clear. Take for example the laws of Buddha from 2,500 years ago. Buddha was asked in the case of war, warriors considered guilty of the crime? He responded, the primary crime resides with the king. Yeah, this is Buddha's stance 2,500 years ago. Yeah, amazing. Of course, it is not always the king nowadays. It could be the prime minister or president, among others. What Buddha meant was, first, the king will be held responsible for committing sins or not, because he held the thought for the judgment to wage the war. If it's the motivation to wage the war is correct, he will be good. Yeah. If it's based on the 6 worldly delusions like greed, yeah, he needs more lands, he needs more food, he needs more people, right? So that's the based on greed, right? Or something communism ideology as ignorance, if it's the motivation, he goes to hell, right? He is judged as evil, like that. So in other words, the king will be asked, what is a righteous war? If not the king, it could be the generals. They will be judged on whether they did the right thing or not. The lower you are on the ladder of power, the less accountable you are. So the top decision based on where the correct thinking way is there is the crucial point. Yeah. And then based on the king's order, subordinates should do it. Yeah. So they are not judged sometimes as evils. Yeah. Because the king's decision, it's everything, all and everything. Yeah. And then the subordinates is not judged as evil. Yeah, but it's depending on individual thought. Yeah, they kill people in discriminatory, it's wrong. But if they have a heart to protect their country, to protect their family, to protect their people under the duty of goodwill, it's not judged as evil. Yeah. Okay, so let's going back to the point. We need to focus on our thought like this. That's in the depths of our heart. What is the motivation? What is your purpose? What is your true aim to do so? We need to look back on ourselves deeper and deeper again and ask ourselves, it's correct motivation, it's correct purpose, it's correct way of thinking, and you can do it. Yeah. you have a conscience, you have a Buddha nature. Based on that, you can do right thing. Okay, so I do not review anymore, but we need to pass the points that are rest in the book. So I want you to at least recognize that human beings are different from animals, because this is an important point. You must respect the other person's dignity as a human being, and with the respect, you must love each other as spiritual beings and influence each other to be better. As long as humans have this understanding, they are given a certain allowance to feel some worldly happiness through physical pleasure. Yeah, that's not in a strict way, but it has allowance. Yeah, but the point is not to be very materialistic, because it goes against the way of God's will, right? So if you forget these spiritual matters, your density is getting heavier to go to hell. Okay, remember the point. It's diluted by 6 worldly delusions. You can remember at some point in the course of your life, you are deluded. That's a reason why you will go to hell. That's the reason why you chose the way who you are right now. Okay. All causes are in us. As long as humans have, but it becomes a problem if you go beyond it and act in a way an animal would act, just as how a male dog unleashed among a number of female dogs would act on them one after another. In fact, the hell of the bloody pond, it's like where last people are there, is located relatively close to the hell of beasts, yeah, because they behave like beasts, and they are often compatible or interchangeable between bloody pond hell and beast's hell that actually exist. I want you to cherish and use your physical body carefully by telling yourself, at the same time, my body is a holy temple for my soul to reside. Yeah. We need to focus on a spiritual aspect, but we don't need to ignore our physical body, because it's holy temple. Such a nice expression. It is neither good or evil in itself. If you use a knife well, for example, it can be used for cooking or peeling fruit, but it can also turn into a weapon if you use it to kill someone. In the same way, a physical body can become a good or evil depending on the mindset of the person using it. So there's a mindset under the act, under the behavior, always. Let's check it. Essentially, all things that are related to crime will be judged in hell. In addition, people who have escaped the laws of this world and were not charged guilty or deemed a perpetrator based on civil law can be judged in hell. That is why faith and what you thought are important. You should reflect on yourself and mainly examine the 6 worldly delusions: greed, anger, foolishness, pride, doubt, and false views. You must also reflect on your actions. Yeah, that originated from your thought, right? Those who have done many things to harm people's divine nature or Buddha nature are not easily forgiven. Once you have repented during your lifetime, do not opposite things and make efforts to become a different person. Okay. So the conclusion is going back to the first question. If you don't believe in God or Buddha, you will go to hell is very correct, because your density of your vibration is materialistic or not is deciding where to go. So if you're heavier, you will go to hell. If you're lighter, you will go to heaven. The lighter means you are spiritual or not. You are materialistic or not. That's the very clear line to decide where to go, heaven or hell. That's very clear, but that's only examined in your mind. Yeah. So it's important to have the habit to look back on your daily life, on your today or yesterday, at the end of the day, and correct it. The accumulation of self-reflection leads you to heaven. Definitely. All right. Thank you for joining today's service. Let's conclude the service with reciting the prayer for the development of our temple. Prayer for the development of our temple. Buddha, our Lord, thank you deeply for giving us a temple, a missionary base from which to spread Buddha's truth and enlighten believers. Buddha, our Lord, encountering Buddha on earth at the time of his reincarnation is such a miraculous opportunity, like coming across a blossom of the Udambara that flowers once every 3,000 years, or like the brine turtle finding a single piece of driftwood in the middle of the vast ocean. We are so blessed to have the connection with Buddha, to see and hear the precious lectures that come from the golden mouth of Buddha with our own eyes and ears. This is the greatest happiness of our lives. It is our mission, the devotees of this temple, to tell others of this happiness and extend it to many. Buddha, our Lord, we hereby pledge to join hands and deepen our faith, to endeavor to study the truth, to strive for further enlightenment, and to make the utmost effort in missionary work and in happiness planting. We will surely develop this temple entrusted by Buddha. We will increase believers, nurture them, and bring many who will be enthusiastic in seeking enlightenment, in advancing missionary work, in spreading the books of truth, in making offerings, and having a good influence on society. In the course of life, we will build many churches and temples in every area of our country, and will spread Buddha's truth all around the world, increase believers, and build bases of life. Buddha, our Lord, our mission is to save every single person through practicing Buddha's law to the utmost. Will produce countless bodhisattvas who will become the pillars of their country, a light for the world. We thank you deeply for hearing our prayer for the development of our temple. Thank you so much for joining today. So I'm going to Kauai next week. So if you have online circumstances, please join it together. And I come back from the next week after the next Sunday from the first chapter here. Okay, let's see you again. Aloha, mahalo. See you again. Thank you.